In this episode of the Better Health Podcast, Tumi Morake and Nombulelo Mgabadeli share their transformative fitness journeys, providing inspiration and motivation on self-empowerment and body positivity. Warning, this episode contains elements of mature themes.
So welcome to the Better Health Podcast hosted by Dis-Chem. And we're going to be sharing our transformative fitness journey.
Yeah.
So should we start with introducing ourselves?
Yes, please. So hi to me. My name is Nombulelo Mgabadeli. I am a fitness content creator and I'm a brand ambassador, Bona magazine, columnist, contributor. Full-time, I guess I'm a 9 to 5. I am a senior talent acquisition for a digital bank. Yeah, that's me.
When do you sleep? Like that's... I'm like, wait, what? And there's a 9 to 5? So when do you sleep?
I don't.
Hi, Noms. Like, look at me renaming you same time. Nombulelo, I'm Tumi Morake.
Mm-hmm.
I am a jack of all trades, master of some. So I'm a mommy.
Oh.
And I am a stand-up comedian. I am an actress. I'm a writer.
When do you
Columnist as well
sleep?
for Ghana. Screenwriter. And that's my entire being, really.
Yeah.
TV host. So anything that has to do with comedy and people.
Yeah.
That's my vibe.
I've seen you in a lot of podcasts, but
Right.
just for the sake of today's podcast, maybe the first question would be, where did body shaming for you start?
Bruh. Like, what? I just feel like what black child can't say when they were a child.
I was about to say, like, it starts at home.
It starts at home.
You grow up, like, not loving those parts of yourself. And even when you try, like, learning how to love those parts of yourself, it's the people you're dating.
Yeah.
It's your close friends, how they'll highlight, oh, Nombulelo has on
Bruh.
like it goes on, and it doesn't help with like social media how people are so comfortable with like comments. As much as you like delete, edit them out, I think they stay there. And as confident as you may seem, I think when it comes to your physical appearance, unfortunately, it does take a knock on your, I guess, how you see yourself, your self-love journey. Yeah. So where did it start?
Sheesh. My earliest memory of it, honestly, is when I was a kid. And, you know, remember the Geisha soap?
Yeah.
They used to call me Geisha. Like, when my cousins were teasing me, they called me Geisha soap. Someone would call me Mafuta, you know. So you kind of get used to that. And then, well, you do get a thick skin, I suppose. But what I hate about it is, for some reason, your family gets to target that very thing that you're insecure about.
Yeah.
But it's funny because then growing up, I was cool. I actually had no issue with my body. I was like, yes, I'm chubby, I'm cute, right?
Exactly.
Where it shocked me was years later when I'm an adult and I've been working in stand-up comedy where, you know, stand-up comedy doesn't care what you look like. It's either you're funny or you're not.
Exactly.
And then I transitioned into TV. I was doing a reality TV show. I was doing OBW and that was my first real taste of body shaming. And then I get all these inboxes of people offering me all these weight loss things. Unprovoked. I never sent out a message saying, please help me. I can't carry my own load. I think I got the wrong code. I'm carrying code 14 here and my license only says code 8. So people were like, and then that's when I realized, okay, well, first I went, okay, maybe I need to fix something.
Yeah.
And I started doing things to myself. And then I suppose I did start to realize how huge I was.
Yeah.
Because I'd had kids back to back. I mean, come on, guys. 3 kids in 5 years. Of course, your body's going to be like, hold on. But on this body shaming thing, there's something I realized, right? You know, it's funny because I'm an emotional eater. And so much as I've never been thin, the way I was responding to feedback around me was that I would start eating my feelings.
Yeah.
And so that weight became more and more. Because remember now, my career was skyrocketing, but I was having children, having to be a wife, buying a house, and becoming more and more famous. And the more famous you become, the more everybody suddenly has a right to say whatever they want about you. And my moment, funny enough, of feeling like, okay, it's time to change. Because I've always been one of those also. So this is where it gets tricky. You're called all of these names for being chubby. But there are certain people when they see you go, hey, well, now you're happy. Look at how big you are. Yeah. So now I'm going, I need to represent my happiness. No one knows I've been in therapy for years. Yeah. No one knows what I'm dealing with. I also have had to deal with issues of sexual molestation as a child, rape as a teenager. So there are also things you're dealing with.
Yeah.
I'm eating them away.
Yeah.
And I never mention it in therapy.
To me image, but we must see that you're happy.
And the thing that actually made me want to change my body, funny enough, because even with the body shaving, it still didn't motivate me enough to do something. What made me do something was getting sick. I got sick. I was at work. I'm on stilts this high and I get dizzy. Now, this is a production. So now we're rehearsing. It's a dress rehearsal. So I'm waiting in the dark. Nobody can see me and I'm so weak. They can't hear me trying to say, help. I'm not okay. They caught me halfway to the floor. And I went to the doctor and they ran all sorts of tests. And so I went to 2 doctors. I went to my physician and I went to my holistic. Both of them said I was on the verge of a heart attack.
Sure.
They were like, you have to right now change your life, And that's when I started gymming. That was my first commitment to I'm going to work out.
Yeah.
And from there, looking at food, still going for my acupuncture and, taking your herbs and stuff and learning to see how food can heal.
Yeah.
But still, I was not addressing my need to eat when I'm not okay.
Yeah. I was about to say, because sometimes it's a mental game, right?
Right.
And I think what I love about our journeys is it's more mental than anything. Those psychology kids that get trained, they do practical at the school.
Yeah.
I had one session. And I think it wasn't the most greatest session because I feel like the thing about those sessions, you would know, they want you to relive.
Yeah.
So you must relive. Okay, and then what happened? Yeah. I was like, no, I'm correct.
How must I re-traumatize myself?
No, I'm here to study and finish, right? So I think I carried it throughout. As much as I then I started gym, of course. And I'm like, okay, let's try out this gym thing. I'm not eating, obviously, because I'm now eating noodles because there's no one who's funding me to have food. But I'm like, let's give this training thing because I have a mission, thick bay.
Yeah.
And I gave it a try, Tumi. As much as I was not eating, I was not sleeping enough, of course, because now I have this degree to run after. But I think that's my start of feeling sane. And I'm saying start because I think we'll both agree with team. It's just I almost want to say it's 30% of all the things that make you feel okay, now I'm healthy.
Yeah.
Now I'm fine. Now I can speak and not feel oh my God, oh my emotion. And now I'm okay. Now I can assist the next person. So I think that was my start with the gym. Signed up. And then my journey started.
I must say, moving for me was also a very good start because moving increased my energy.
Yeah.
Because, when I perform and when I'm in front of a camera, there's a switch I put on. Bro.
Yeah.
And then I don't know where that energy was coming from, but I was depleted. I would arrive flat.
Yeah.
Plug is on when I'm in front of the cameras or on a stage. But as soon as I get off, back to zero.
Yeah.
But of course, as my mental health began to deteriorate, that switch stayed up because I needed it longer.
Yeah.
Because now there'd be more people around me as things ended. So now I can't switch off because the camera's off. There's still people around me who need to still have me up.
Yeah.
And then you get married, so you also now have to have energy for this person and their issues, and then you have kids and they need mom, and so like what you're saying of parking, you park things, but at least now you're moving, so it's not as bad. But there comes a point where your body is also being poisoned. So the movement is now also becoming less and less effective. Like one of the big things I learned, and this has been part of my transformation, is my relationship with food in terms of what I'm craving and being conscious of going, I feel like a burger, right? But the way I'm going to get away with having this burger is if I'm going to make sure whatever bun I have doesn't contain flour. It's going to have to be a health bun, but it's going to be a burger with all my things. Because I learned from a friend who suffers from bipolar depression disorder, that white bread actually was a trigger as well. She was like, these things, there's certain things that you eat and the way your body reacts to them affects your mind. And you don't think about that. It's like people who drink, right? And they get that alcohol psychosis vibes. And you're like, if alcohol can do that to you, if the things you consume, like drugs, can do that to you, you consume food. So food can do that to you. You know what I mean? If certain foods can be aphrodisiacs, consider that certain foods can also be the things that are going to kill you. So I realized, because I gained and lost and gained, I was just like, hey, man, what's that instrument? I was like, swing, warm. And then I met this woman and she did a thing where she was like, no, don't just go on a diet, get a blood test. Let's see what's happening with your hormones. Let's see what's happening with your sugar. If your body's breaking down sugar, all of that. I had never thought of that. I did that, and that's when I actually finally lost weight for good.
Nice.
You know?
Yes.
And the weight fight I'm having now is because then the pandemic happened. And the pandemic, because you know how we run away from emotions? Suddenly, I'm in a marriage where we are home all the time together in each other's space. I'm like, whoa, which one is this one? Who are you? You know, who are you? But also, who am I? Who am I at home?
But is the movement stopping because are you blaming? Because, I no longer have access to a gym.
Yeah, because I'm a kettlebell girl. Kettlebells then stopped being gym. They became I'm stressed. So when I'm not stressed, I'm not thinking, let's go use the kettlebell. Because I'm going, I'm not stressed. Why must I kettlebell? But also, the fridge is there. The kids are there.
You're happy.
And when they're eating, I'm eating. And then there's this person who I must interact with all the time. And I'm like, I don't know what to do with you. Let me feed you.
And it doesn't take away the stress that comes with being in that space.
Right.
Now you're like eating more.
Right. But I must say, I when I was skinny, again, social media, going back to looking at my photos, I don't look as happy as I looked when I was like proper, full-time, 1001 Spigas, Mabagish. Like, I was like, something's missing, you know?
I'm sure you're happy in a different way, right?
Yeah.
No.
I was happy in the way of, suddenly people will want to dress me for things when previously, designers were just, shunning me, and I was getting to wear those dresses that I would never dare to wear. Like, I love those girls. You know, on the socials, those big girls, those plus size girls who wear like revealing, they can show their tummy. I hero worship those girls because when I was bigger, I just felt like this thing must remain under a curtain. It must not be seen by anyone.
You almost like feel unworthy. Even of like being in spaces like, why me?
Bruh. Do you know that's how I know I'll never get that big again? I have learned to love how I look.
Yeah.
Right? In anything. Because when I wore those things, when I finally got to wear those dresses, yes, it was exciting. But as I've gotten bigger and I found myself still wearing the same things, I go, Kante, what was this lens with which I believed I had to be a size 32?
Yeah. So I always say that if people want to like fall in love with themselves and like be on this long journey, it's a journey, right? Like a marathon. It's not like a short sprint and then usufigile con. But it's like the small things, like one, making sure that your mental health is right. It's making sure that you're doing movement that feels like home to you. Because like next month, I might come back and say, I'm but like I just want to swim. But that feels, it makes me feel happy, and it's some sort of movement, right? And it helps me feel like I'm showing love to myself.
What do you feel fitness looks like that's the question, I suppose. What would you say in a nutshell fitness
looks like?
Because people keep saying that thing of, I want to get fit.
Exactly.
Not I want to live fit.
Right.
You know?
So I always say, so I'll make an example with running. I always say running, there's no specific body for running. You can never look at me and say, I don't runs. There's no body that is designed like to, okay, this one looks like running. And this is the same with fitness. It has got nothing to do with how you look outside. I think it has got every single thing to do with how you feel when you're alone in a room inside.
Yeah.
We've made it feel like it's this in a glamour phakathi. You must be a brand ambassador. You must wear matching outfits.
Yeah.
And I think that thing excluded a lot of people.
It does. I mean, when I've been on Instagram and I've seen those girls, you're sweating in gym, you're carrying heavy things.
Yeah.
And by the time I'm finished watching your reel, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not going to join a gym.
Yeah.
Nochal, you're wearing makeup that has not melted. And I've seen what I look like when I've been working out. I walk out looking like Shrek after a gym. When now you're coming here looking like freaking the Little Mermaid. It doesn't make sense. So it's a turn off. And I mean, not to hate on the people who do that.
Course,
like, it's great to encourage other people to do it. But some people don't realize what they're doing.
Exactly.
When they over glamorize what they, and also because they're lying. Some, not all. My problem is also the ones who go and have the surgery. Not even the surgery, the shortcuts.
Yeah.
There are people who are going for the getting fat freezing, contouring. I'm glad that now they start to show that they're doing these things so that Tumi Nombulelo sitting at home isn't going, Auntie, what's wrong with me? Because I've been doing exactly the same routine she's been posting and I'm not getting the same results.
Yes.
Whereas she's going to gym, but she has the budget I don't have to also go and get the injections and the what's going on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
So I do also feel like, because I remember when I lost weight, firstly, people were like, yo, how did you lose weight so quickly? And so I went and posted my journey so that people could remember I've been losing weight gradually. That's why you didn't see this happen. And because now you're seeing me this size, you're going, yo, out of nowhere. And I go, no, guys, I've been shrinking in front of you. Here are the photos to prove it, right? And then I get these messages from these women going, what's the trick? What's the trick? What's the trick?
Yeah.
And because I don't want to get people dying and then saying to me, Morake said, I'm like, yeah, but speak to your doctor. I'm like, guys, I went to doctors, I did blood tests.
Yes, I was about to say, like, I think the biggest thing is, speaking of shortcuts, is there is no shortcut to like whether you're losing weight or you're trying to gain muscle, whatever you're trying to achieve. And that's why you need to like align it to set skills. So like if you want to, maybe I want to learn push-ups. And I know push-up are going to get me shoulders, right? And it takes long. But Abantu are so stuck in wanting like these shortcuts of like getting the results. And the moment you show them, go to know, this is where I started, this is how long it took me. It's like, oh, I get to me.
Gosh,
It's like, no.
And also realizing that your body makeup is not the next person's body makeup. I remember when banting first came in. And so my husband and I were banting. And I watched a brother lose Boma 10 kilograms, I think it was, right in front of me.
Oh.
And I was sitting on Boma 2 kilograms and I'm like, I thought they said this thing's for everybody. Why? You know? So I think that was part of my journey as well, is realizing one person's rata is not everybody's rata. You know? But also I got the opportunity to do this campaign, this naked campaign, right?
Nice.
Where they got celebrities to pose naked, no makeup.
I remember.
No. Do you hear me?
No
makeup. I will not shame people, but there were certain people who rented the bathroom and went in, my brand. And so they were, a little bit. But what I appreciated about doing it was that I got to sit with my body and actually give my body props. Because sometimes we also forget, guys, it's not like after you mess it up, somebody's going to give you a new one to use in the meantime. Once you've lost this one, you're done.
No.
And so I wrote this love letter to my body.
Tell me more.
I was thanking it. I called it my temple.
I saw it had beat somewhere.
Yes. because, it's carried me. It's carried me. It's my sacred temple that has carried me, carried my children.
Yes.
Carried me through pain, sold me to people.
Yeah.
And so I felt like I had not given it credit for also taking such a beating.
Yeah.
My body had taken a beating, beatings from me, beatings from others,
Yeah.
And so when I did that, I think it also did a permanent thing to me where I am not sleeping well.
Yeah.
And I realized that, and I was like, oh, my Joshua, man. I thought Mama's not giving you sleep when you're man. Sorry, when, And now I'm going to have to face the things that are keeping me up.
Yeah.
And that's when that hard thing happens. So also people must know that you are going to have moments where you stumble. Allow yourself. We are not angels, we're not perfect.
Absolutely not.
The fact that you're on the journey is enough. High five yourself.
People don't want to invest in fitness, and again, it does feel like it's expensive. If you're not doing your research, or if you're trying to only buy in like specific shops, right. But if you take the time to do the research and go to the right shops, it's actually very much affordable. The 500 I spend on signing up for gyms guarantees that I'm going to run 2 times a week.
Yeah.
Because now I must be ready for that Saturday run, right? Yeah. And the benefits of that one, you get the community, right? You make friends. People are going to inspire you. You get coaches who actually tell you, you're a good runner.
That's mental wellness happening, Clary.
Do you see?
Yeah.
Do you see?
Yeah.
Because when you feel like you're part of something, it makes you feel like, I am part of something bigger.
Because also on the health level, the thing I did not share is at my heaviest, part of the reason I had to lose this weight is because by the time they were telling me about the heart attack, it didn't occur to me that I had certain health issues which were not natural in the sense that I wasn't born with them.
Yeah.
Like, I had an asthma pump. As soon as I lost weight, I haven't touched an asthma pump since, And I'm going, girl, I was not clicking that I'm not okay.
Yeah.
The minute they said thick girls be proud.
Yeah.
It's like somebody twisted it to stay unhealthy, it's sexy. Whereas it was no. Love yourself. Love your body. If you're a thickum, you're a thickum.
Yeah.
But you're healthy. Look at Lizzo, bruh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Lizzo can perform for hours.
Yeah.
She will dance on that stage. She will, you know what I mean? So I go, show me someone who looks like me. Show me someone who, when they tell me or they advise me what to eat, they're going to mention things I recognize.
Exactly.
Because I come from a place where I remember my first most failed attempt with a dietitian. The first thing was this whole BMI nonsense. We are hips. We are Africa. We are hips. We are bums. Those are not always a bad thing that is going to disappear because it's too wide. It's wider than the what chart. I'm not from Europe, me. I come with kodonkies and African trademark and all the bells and whistles. So that was already a problem because I'm going, the body you're telling me I should be, I will never be, not even at my thinnest. Is the first thing. The second thing, you're telling me about asparagus. And celery.
Broccoli.
Okay, broccoli, wait. Don't
let's
broccoli.
go.
Hey, broccoli, that's my guy. Broccoli is me being bougie. But yeah, so they start mentioning things. Petty pens.
Yes.
Don't speak to me as someone who knows where I'm from with food, who will take me to the healthy. I'll meet Petty Pen one day.
Exactly.
But for now, you're right. Representation is important. We need to see people who sound like you, look like you, or have been on your journey.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like motivational speakers.
Exactly.
For me. Because I'm always like, don't tell me about a motivational speaker who will tell me it's my first time where I am. Have they been where I am?
Exactly.
Yeah. So you're right.
Yeah. It plays in different parts of your dietitian. Like you almost want someone who cooks or advises on food that you would in your household make. Find ways of making your African food feel like this is healthy for me, right? Someone who's going to understand if it's a cabin msebenzini, how does that make me feel? Someone who trains, I don't follow people who strictly train full time. Sometimes you compare yourself to someone who is in a whole different journey. To me, all they do is wake up and train.
You don't know their lifestyle. But
Exactly.
brands must stand up. This is where brands need to put their hands up and be like, okay, we also lost the plot here a little bit. You're right. We can also, because they're the ones who then give a certain group of people the volume, because they are the ones sponsoring them, giving them the, what do they call it? The spotlight.
Correct.
And I feel like it is time for them to also go, let's do a little bit of homework into other aspects of fitness. Let's highlight this. Let's sponsor our fitness content creator because she looks like the average woman who is going through this. Because even with mental health, for example, speaking to you today, I got goosebumps because I didn't even know that there are so many people who've been through similar things to me.
Yeah.
And the only reason I know that is because then Dis-Chem was like, come chat. You know what I mean? So we need this to be like a springboard for these brands to also go, we want to support the people who buy us.
Yeah, I agree.
When it comes to our own lives, we are experts of our experience and our journey with fitness. But I think sometimes we must also call the people who've studied these things experts.
Yeah. And that's why today we have invited an expert to give us some tips. Yes.
Hi, Tumi and Nombulelo. Those were some powerful words. And thank you so much for sharing your story. When it comes to exercising and mental health, it's twofold, right? On the one end, we have the science behind the body. So exercising, you exercise, what happens? You release dopamine, right? The feel-good hormones. Then what happens? You feel good and you're in a better state of mind, right? And then on the one end, it's the sense of achievement that you receive from completing a workout, sticking to a routine, of mastering a new form of exercise, mastering a type of workout. You never had a gym membership before, but now you're going 2 to 3 times a week, and then you're building onto that. So it's the sense of community that comes with the exercise. It becomes a sort of a support group. When it comes to what fitness actually looks like, right? I agree with Tumi and Nombulelo when they say we need to move away from what society has portrayed as being fit. It's not the guy with an 8-pack. For me, it's about being able to play with your kids for more than 10 minutes. It's about being able to walk to the shops and come back without huffing and puffing. It's about being able to go up the stairs. Going up the stairs and not always choosing the elevator. Your daily routine must not be a struggle to you. Yeah. To me, that's what being fit is. If you want to maintain a healthy body, you got to keep active, right? And active can mean a lot of things to different people. So it's all about finding what you enjoy doing. So I may enjoy lifting weights 5 times a week, but that may not particularly be your focus, right? There's a lot of things to do. You can take a walk in the evenings. You can meet up with friends and play paddle, which is the new trending thing at the moment. You can go swimming. You can go cycling, hiking. There's a lot that you can do that you can keep yourself moving, right? Appreciating how you are able to perform a particular exercise or do particular things. So most of the times we put so much pressure on ourselves to be a weightlifter and sometimes that's hard, and then that becomes demotivating. But in that same sense, never be afraid to reach out for help. In essence, fitness is having the power over your body, loving yourself, and controlling the narrative about yourself.